Hello! I'm Scotty. You're not. Uh, First of two videos I'm recording tonight. Just remember, I'm on my filming apparatus, so a lot more bounds than usual. So I was saying of this earlier, and I decided to do two top 10 lists. I don't think I've done before. This one is the top 10 childhood Halloween episodes. Specifically, Halloween episodes. About Halloween, during Halloween, horror theme episodes not included. I'm also going to do a separate list on the childless book movies. These are childhood Halloween episodes, so stuff I grew up with. So a few little quid pro quos, little things before we get started here. Like I said, Halloween based episodes, not just horror based. So you are not going to see on this list. I'm not going to talk about it. The Boy Meets World episode, and then there was Sean. It is not a Halloween episode. It came out in February of 1998. It was not a Halloween episode. It gets played around Halloween. I watched it around Halloween, but it's not a Halloween episode. It does not take place on Halloween or around Halloween. No. As much as I love that episode, it's my favorite one. No. All of these, most of these, except for maybe three of these, I used to have videotapes. I record stuff, transfer stuff to. I had Halloween tape and a couple Christmas tapes. One from when I was a little kid, and then one from when I was a little bit older and I could do it myself of stuff. So most of these, but two, I think, were on that tape. That tape also included the aforementioned Boy Meets World episode, and then there was Sean. So if there's another episode from the show that Halloween was from the show that I could talk about, I'll just briefly mention it. But an honorable mention goes to the Brotherly Love episode, Witchcraft. That's a pretty good episode. It starts with the Crypt Keeper, which was a scar from my childhood, but he's on there, and that show stars the Lawrence brothers. So Joe takes Andy trick or treating, and then takes home the wrong kid. And meanwhile, Matt's getting pranked by these college kids because he won't give them candy, rightfully so. They're not in costume, and they're college students. That's too old. And then Lloyd goes nuts on these college kids for taking all the candy. So yeah, it's a fun episode. But we'll talk more about these ones. So number 10, Night of the Day of the Dead, Lizzie McGuire. So this episode, I'm going to be speaking as if you know about these shows. So if you don't know the shows, look them up. Lizzie McGuire is self-explanatory, really. It's about a girl named Lizzie McGuire. It was on Disney Channel, Zook Disney, if you want to call it that, back in the day. The episode is the school is putting together a Halloween party. Kate, the bitchy girl student of the show, is in charge of it, and Miranda wants to bring, because she's Hispanic, she wants to bring stuff for Dias de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, and she's like, okay, you put it in a corner. She goes, and Miranda's like, you don't disrespect Dias de los Muertos. She's like, whatever, and then the little figurines, skeleton figurines, disappear, and then magically are now really big, and weird stuff starts happening, and Lizzie's turned to a zombie, and Gordon's turned to a bobblehead, and like most of these sitcom episodes, this was sort of sitcom-ish. It's one of those ones without a live track or live audience, but usually there's some sort of explanation as to why the weird stuff is going on, and it turns out it's just a prank, bro, because Miranda wants to get revenge on Kate for besmirching Dias de los Muertos. So, yeah, but it's a fun episode. Also, Matt's costume with the eyeballs hanging out is a little risque for Disney, but I like it. Number 9, Jimmy Neutron, Nightmare in Retroville. This is probably my favorite episode of the show. It's a fun episode. Maybe some The one with the pants is fun. I don't remember a lot of Jimmy Neutron episodes. But anyway, in this episode, Jimmy seems to think that he, Sheen, and girl. By the way, I will be calling him, saying his name like that through this whole explanation, just so you're aware. That they're too old for trick-or-treating. But Sheen and girl still want to go. So Jimmy uses his DNA rearranging machine, whatever it's called, to rearrange their DNA so they have cool costumes. Sheen is a werewolf and girl is a vampire. However, it turns out that the DNA machine literally rearranged their DNA, and now they're actually Sheen's actually a vampire, and Sheen's actually a werewolf, excuse me, and Carl is actually a vampire. And along the way, Libby becomes a werewolf, Cindy becomes a vampire, and Jimmy's dad becomes the Frankenstein monster because he shows up, spins the thing, and gets turned into the Frankenstein monster. And wouldn't you know it, his wife just happens to be dressed like the bride of Frankenstein's monster, which is what it should be called, but Bride of Frankenstein. Because Son of Frankenstein is actually about Frankenstein's son. Well, the ghost of Frankenstein isn't about this ghost, but I don't know. Anyway, and all ends up, there's so much chaos, so Jimmy turns himself into a giant octopus and wrangles them up and turns them back to be human and goes trick-or-treating as the octopus. Yeah. It's a fun episode. Number 8, That's So Raven. Don't Have a Cow, Man. Don't Have a Cow is the name of the episode. Yeah, if you watched That's So Raven, you know this episode. But so there's gonna be a Alana, Adrienne Bailon's character, Raven's rivals having a party. Eddie's invited, but Raven and Chelsea are not. So while going through some of her grandma's stuff, they find a potion that will give the wish whatever they want. So they wish to be invited to the party, and they do. And it's funny because when the phone rings, I don't know why, but I want to invite you to my party. And then they want to have the coolest costumes. But they find out that during this, when they got so excited, Chelsea dropped a cow pin. And it's a vegetarian anti-meat pin with a cow on it into the thing. So now they turn into cows. Eddie is also a wizard, which is funny because he's not the one that mixed the things together. He's a wizard. And by the end, they're all turned into cows. But like I said, with these sitcom episodes, there's always a twist. And it turns out that this whole episode was a vision that Raven has, and so she stops from happening. The only problem with it being a vision is there's a B plot that concerns Corey and his friend William going trick-or-treating by themselves instead of going with the dad and the mom, or the dad specifically. And so the dad ends up going out with the mom dressed as Igor and the mad scientist. She's Igor, or a hunchback person. You do know that Dr. Frankenstein's guy wasn't Igor. That was like the third movie, wasn't it? That was Frankenstein's son that had Igor. Dr. Frankenstein's Hunchback Ohart was named Carl. Yeah. Or is it Fritz and then Carl? Carl and then Fritz. There's both. I don't remember Frankenstein. It's been a while since I watched it. It's been a few years. Anyway. So yeah, the only thing that's confusing is that did all this B plot with Corey actually happen the way it did? And Raven put a stop to the A plot happening, so they did nothing. I don't know. Number 7, Boy Meets World. Witches of Pembroke. Yes, this one has special guest star Candace Cameron. Candace Cameron. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She wasn't married yet, so she was just Candace Cameron here. This was post Full House, which is 98. So there was when did Full House end? 95. So this was 3 years after. So this is more of a Eric and Jack centric episode the Corey and Topanga centric part is just the B plot essentially, but a new girl has moved into the apartment that will eventually be Rachel and her boyfriend's. They use that apartment. They reuse those hallways anyways. They use the same hallway for Corey and Topanga's hallway when they go to the married uh, dorms. It's the same hallway. Yeah. Oh, by the way, also a little tidbit: their apartment that they get is Sean's. The apartment that according to Topanga at the beginning is Sean's trailer, and the apartment that Eric and Jack are in is a repurposed version of Mr. Turner's apartment from the previous couple seasons. So, yeah, they reuse sets. They do. Anyway, and it took my going through rewatching Boy Meets World with my son to realize I'm like, wait a minute, Eric and Jack's apartment is just Mr. Turner's apartment. I'm like, look, because there's the kitchen and there, and then in Mr. Turner's there was the up thing. He's like, yeah, and then when we get to Corey and Topanga's, I'm like, that's Sean's trailer. Look, you see that, and then there was where the fridge was and the table. He's like, yeah, they just reused the sets, redecorated. Anyway, so it turns out that Candace Cameron and her roommates are witches. So, and they need a hunter, that being Jack Hunter, or even Sean. Sorry, I forget the name. Because they want to be immortal or something. I don't remember the end game to this. But strangely enough, it's Eric that saves the day with the SPF sunscreen on his butt. No, seriously, that's what happened. The light is supposed to come in and hit the hunters, hits his butt, and then it stops, and he's not fried because the SPF sunscreen that he wears, and then he just kicks them all out. And then there's like an end credit thing where he's dating Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Sean's been turned to a frog. Presumably because he hit on her. But he was still dating, what's her face at this time? Angela. Angela. No, wrong one. The B plot with Corey and Topanga is that they're flying out on a plane to somewhere, visit her parents or something. And the pilot used to be a student that went to school with Eric, and Topanga's afraid of flying. That's the B plot. You gotta have Corey in the Boy Meets World episode. You can't just be, I don't know, he doesn't do anything, but yeah. Number 6. Well, I gotta try to remember this one. Phil of the Future, Halloween. This one, okay. So, I'm trying to think. So it's Halloween, and there's some sort of dance and contest for best costume. So Phil and Keely go as a two-headed hockey player for some reason. But Debbie Berwick, Pam's friend, it turns out she's an evil robot android from the future who wants to take over the world using her evil cupcakes. So Phil and Keely have to team together to take her down. And interesting enough, they do take her down. She's turned into cupcake mush. And then like they do a thing where like a mouse licks it and turns red eyes, whatever. Interesting enough, I think this is the last time we see Debbie Berwick on the show. She's gone after this. So it's canon that she was actually a evil robot from the future. If any show could get away with it, it's Phil of the Future to do that. But I love the show and the song. Boy named Phil and his family and 22nd century got a brand new time machine and on their way to a time way, way, way back in the day. So now it's Phil of the Future. Never knew in history is where he would land. Phil of the Future. It's a 22nd century, man. So yeah, interestingly enough, though, the version I saw a little bit on the. It's in season 1, but they had a season 2 intro over it. I don't know. In re-airings, they would do that, you know. But from what I remember, it was a fun episode. That's why I put it in the middle, because I remember I watched it more than the Boy Meets World episodes and the ones on top. There it was on the tape, so I'd watch it as it went along. So, number 5, Real and scary. Scary Odd Parents. Fairly Odd Parents. If you watch Nickelodeon, you know this one, right? You gotta know it. If we're in the top 5 now, these are the best of the best of the best. So, going back to Boy Meets World, I would also recommend the season 1 Halloween episode where Corey turns into a werewolf. That's a fun little one. He's not really a werewolf. He thinks he's turned into a werewolf, I guess I should say. Anyway, in this episode, Timmy thinks that Halloween is boring, so he wishes for the costumes to be real and scary, which means everyone around the world, not only are every costume everyone's wearing, I don't know if it's around the world or just in his town or whatever, they're not only real, but they're scary like versions. So like, I think Cosmo was a janitor, so now he's a zombie janitor type thing. This is scary versions. So Timmy is now an actual mummy, and they cannot reverse it because they're not fairy godparents anymore because the wish made them real and scary. But the problem is, early on, he wishes to have one of the pumpkin bot costumes from Crash Nebula, but they were only made one costume of each, and they all belong to 4 rich snobby kids. Okay, so I've always had an issue with this. No one would make just one costume of each. You know how much money you'd be losing on that? I know there's limited editions and stuff, but why would you make costumes? Only one of each. Some people do that. I mean, in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the Egyptian God cards, you only needed one to exist because those were so powerful. But there was more than one Exodia. We know that because of the rare hunters. But anyway, but yeah, I don't know. It just always feels weird that they have to be extra mean to Timmy. Oh, there's only one costume of each, and and you can't steal someone's costume. I guess, I don't know. But Timmy hobbles together a bunch of different costumes to make a new superpower costumes. Eventually, Wanda, his vampire tooth flies out, and she puts a pillow on top, which summons the dentist, who's now the Tooth Fairy, because that's what he was dressed as. She takes his crown and wand and becomes the fairy godparent again and wishes away the thing. This is a very important episode to me because I began using a phrase called chicken monkey taco. It's even one of my emails somewhere, chicken monkey taco, something, I don't get the whole thing. And it comes from this because Cosmo is told to stall because Mark, the alien Mark, shows up, and apparently his people are gonna bomb the planet Earth, so they gotta stop him from going on the ship. So Cosmo pretends to sleep. Where he gets a pillow from, I don't know. He's not a godparent anymore, but he's sleeping, and he's sleeping and going, monkey, chicken, taco. And so that's where chicken monkey taco came from. Nice little thing. I like this episode. It's fun, you know. Number 4. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Tale of the Twisted Claw. I would also recommend the Tale of the Midnight Ride. It's not really Halloween orientated. Maybe it is. It's Sleepy Hollow orientated. So I think that's Halloween. So yeah, but this one, it's the twist on the monkey's paw, you know, where so these 2 kids, they pull a prank on Miss Clove, this weird lady that lives in their neighborhood that they think is a witch, and they accidentally break her vase. The next night, though, or a week or so later, they go trick-or-treating. And she knows it's them somehow and gives them this claw that will give them wishes. But much like the monkey paw, every wish is twisted. So there's like, oh, I wish I had the gold medal instead of Bostic. And Bostic gets hurt from a dog running and attacking him. And so the kid gets the gold medal. Or, that's something I can't remember really. This one's like Make a Wish, and then there's like a twist on it. It's like the Wishmaster, only they don't make up shit. like the Wishmaster does, where he's like, "I like to see you walk through me." So he turns the guy into plastic, whatever, and literally walks through him. I saw lightning. I'm in danger. Kid from The Simpsons. But I don't know, I just popped in my head. What I was saying. Or what's the one that always makes me roll my eyes from that movie? Where it's like, oh, the one where the lady's like, I wish all these paperwork would go up in the flames so I could go home. And so he not only makes the paperwork go up in flames, but also kill her, which is kind of a lame twist on it, where it's like, oh, you got to do. Come on, it had nothing to do with her, but But yeah, and there's even one point where he keeps saying that Gramps would know, Gramps knows. So he wishes his Gramps were there, and that's when he realized he's dead. This Gramps is dead, so that's why. Yeah, so then the final wish they use is, I wish we never broke Miss Clove's vase. So they don't have the thing anymore. Boxstick's got the gold medal and everything. Interesting enough, this was actually aired before the actual series aired on Nickelodeon. It was aired as a Halloween special in 1990, and then the rest of the show aired starting in 91. So, or either way, I don't know. Number 3, Goosebumps, The Haunted Mask. Oh, it also put in there The Haunted Mask 2, which I probably watched more, to be honest, because I had that one on DVD. But we're talking about the first one. And, of course, The Tale of the Jack-o'-lanterns. But if you don't know The Haunted Mask, you got to talk about R.L. Stine's intro and all these. Hello, I'm R.L. Stine. I write the Goosebumps books. Can you imagine if Jack Black as R.L. Stine? Get it ha! I'm R.L. Stine. I write the Goosebumps book. Skitty shot. You know? Anyway, so The Haunted Mask, you have Carly Beth. She's scared of everything. And then she wants to get back on these two, Chuck and Steve. Steve is the protagonist of the second one, and they replaced him with John White. John White's a better actor, so, he was also in the Kukulkan, but he's not in this one as some other kid. Anyway, I did a full review on this, by the way, so I'm not going to go too much. But she goes to this mask shop where the creepy shop owner won't let her, says, all we have is with a key. And she ends up going to the back and seeing a very scary mask. She takes one. She doesn't technically pay for it, but then she goes to return it. Something that's always bugged me, she goes to return it, and the guy locks the door, like, maybe it's too late. She's already taken it, so you can't return it. But she puts it on a couple times. And this one, it's twice. And the second one, they say 3 times. I don't know if that's a difference from the book or anything, because I haven't read the book in a while. But she ends up putting the mask down. But eventually it won't come off. And then it becomes, you need a symbol of love to defeat it, which is the bust her mom made for her. So, yeah. Of course you got to talk about that. Number 2, Home Improvement. The Haunting of the Taylor House. Home Improvement, starting with its second season, did a Halloween episode for like every season, I think, afterwards. I think. But this is the one that always sticks out in my mind, is this one. It's got the beginning for the Tool Time segment where Tim comes out with the creepy mask. Ah! What are you supposed to be? I'm Al. Ah! And Al! And so they have the party at the Taylor house with all the kids, and Brad is excited because he and his girlfriend are going as Raggedy Ann and Andy. It's Raggedy Ann and Andy, not Raggedy Andy. At least I never heard of it. I remember because I'm gonna call her Lois. It's not Lois. Jill. It was like he's going to Raggedy Andy and she's Raggedy Ann and he's Raggedy Andy. I'm like, it's just Raggedy Ann and Andy. I don't know. But she shows up as a biker chick because she went there with Sean from Boy Meets World before Boy Meets World, because this was 91, 92, 92. And why is she going with Sean from Boy Meets World? Because he didn't pick her for the kickball team. And he's like, well, yeah, I want to win. No, don't say that. Don't say that. No. And they talk it out and everything is fine, but And here's the thing about that. I always felt that it's bullshit that she just changed her mind and didn't call him and say, hey, I'm not coming as Raggedy Andy, don't bother putting on the costume, but instead came as something else and made him look completely stupid by being still dressing up as Raggedy Andy. Yeah. Also, Sean's a little prick in this episode. Nothing. Jennifer and I are together. No. I do like how he gets his comeuppance though, because he's like, "But that's your husband, and you're stupid radish. Hey, I'm a dumb carrot," or something like that. And then the whole owl thing with the Number one though, Even Stevens, a very scary story. Now, again, this goes with the trope of when you have weird things happen on a sitcom or show that's not normally like that, you got to make up things. So in this episode, it is Halloween. Everyone's dressed up in costumes in school, which doesn't happen in real life, sadly, especially when they're in middle school. But everyone's got costumes on, except for Ren. She's dressed all nice and proper, really. Twitty is a caveman. I believe Tawny is a princess. Tom is a boat captain because he has a boat. A dinghy, as he says in the movie. Yes, that is a line from the movie. Just hop on my dinghy. Ha, 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 ha. And, of course, Lewis is dressed as a penguin jockey. Yeah. They're also doing eye exams on Halloween. And after getting eye exams, students are acting weird. They want to obey the rules. And they have a craving for milk. Yeah, it's very weird. That's because the principal and Coach Tugnut, yes, that is his name, are using the eye exams. They get rid of their eyes, and they become basically like zombies that obey their school rules and have a thirst for milk. It's just the side effect, and they order too much of it. They gotta get rid of the stuff anyway. So, Lewis's plan to prank the entire school doesn't work because the other three get reprogrammed. And so he tries to tell Ren. She doesn't believe him until it's a little too late. However, there's saying that. And he even calls his mom. And inexplicably, the mom, the dad, and Donnie all show up just so they can get brainwashed later. Although, strangely enough, they don't change the way they are. They still act like themselves. Maybe it's because they're not in school or whatever. But it's revealed that Ren is the one behind it all. She's the richest. She's the mistress, the empress behind it all. And if you could put initials together, you could figure it out. Because also on the episode they say that the Regional Eye Network is sponsoring eye exams. Regional Eye Network. R-E-N. Ren. Yes. And I didn't catch that the first time I watched this. And so all of the people who are hypnotized start turning into Ren duplicates or Renplicates, including Tugna and the principal. And when they try to put Lewis in, he gets transmogrified into a Ren-Lewis hybrid because he's too bad, I guess. Well, the problem is he didn't have the eye exam, so he wasn't brainwashed when they put him in, so it caused a weird side effect like that. It's Lewis's head on Ren's body. And then it's revealed this is all a bullshit story that Lewis is telling Beans. And then Ren shows up with milk and scares Beans. Oh no, you're not taking my eyeballs. What's wrong with him? Couldn't imagine. But yeah, that's number one because it's one I look forward to watching too. It's about every year, on that tape and everything, and I think it's on YouTube. I have to look it up, but yeah, these are just ones I grew up with. Like the ones I watch now, like the Hughleys or I'm With Her. I watch those every year. I watch the aforementioned Matter Where You Are, Brotherly Love one. I just seen the theme song to get that one. But yeah, so come back tomorrow when I will be talking about my top 10 childhood spooky movies. yes, a couple honorable mentions in there I'll talk about. But yes, so thank you for watching. What is your list of your childhood Halloween episodes? They gotta be Halloween, so nobody's allowed to say, and then there was Sean, because it's not a Halloween episode. That gotta take place on Halloween, be about Halloween. Okay? Thank you for watching. I've been Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.